This was on less than 60%. When I looked at this morning, it was on less than 60%. So it's going on because it was on 54%, but now it's on 60% right now. So obviously the reviews are flooding in. So maybe the checks are clearing. Maybe those Disney checks are clearing pricks. But still, this brings it here to my eye, guys. This is what I wanted. All right, this is one half of what I wanted. One half of what I wanted is for this film to get slated and destroyed by the reviews. Another half of what I wanted is for this to come down under $1 billion. After what that prick J.J. Abrams did with the bait and switch involving Finn, where he just promoted Finn as a Jedi, and instead you gave me that piece of crap trash Daisy Ridley as one of the most garbage Jedi of all time, and that's Last Jedi insulting and disrespecting Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill. Bruh, this is personal. It's personal, baby. But this ain't great, because from what I remember, this has to come under critical score under Last Jedi and Force Awakens, because from what I remember of Force Awakens and Last Jedi, they were in the 90s, either the 90s or at least the 80s, in the high 80s. There is no way there is no way in hell this can go up to even 70%. There's no way in hell this can go up to 70%. It's impossible now, because at 60%, because remember, more reviews are going to be coming in. So it's going to be tricky for it to go right up. But I always like looking at top critics. So we now have 32 top critics right now. Let's look at what some of these so-called top critics are saying, man. So from The Guardian, he says, the movie snaps together like a jigsaw puzzle, a series of concluding beats that seem inevitable and perfect and designed to please all parties, so as long as you don't dwell on the logic too much. You see, this is the thing that just I find weird. So he's giving this a 5 out of 5 score. Let's read that again. The movie snaps together like a jigsaw puzzle, a series of concluding beats that seem inevitable and perfect and designed to please all parties, so long as you don't dwell on the logic too much. So you are admitting that if you engage your brain, the film is illogical. That's what you've said. But as long as you just leave your brain at the door, this is do you know what it means to give it a 5 out of 5, a perfect film? Bro, you see, this is where you know that payment has come through. Let's just look at let's look at this one from Time magazine. So in its anxiety not to offend, it comes off more like fan fiction than the creation of actual professional filmmakers. A bot would be able to pull off a more surprising movie. And you see, that's right there is the very crux of J.J. Abrams and the sequel trilogy. So if you put Rian Johnson to one side, this summation by Stephanie Zacharek, this right here is at the very core of all that is wrong with J.J. Abrams and this sequel trilogy. In its anxiety not to offend, it comes off more like fan fiction. For me, that's just what Force Awakens felt like. Fan fiction and just the eagerness to please than the creation of actual professional filmmakers. Something I said in my previous video. The whole point of a filmmaker, of an artist, is I'm not making my film based on what fans want. I'm just making a film. I want fans to like my film, but I'm not at the behest of them liking my film. So I'm not writing my script and making my film say, okay, will the fans like this? Will the fans like that? Will the fans like... No. You just go out and you make your damn film. Insult Lucas all he wants. When he made those prequels, I'm just making my film. When he made A New Hope, or when he helped make Return of the Jedi, I'm just making I'm not making it thinking scene by scene, shot by shot, line by line, whether fans will like this line, will they like this shot? No, I'm just making my damn film. That's what a professional filmmaker does. J.J. Abrams is not a professional filmmaker. He has shown how unprofessional he is by literally being at the behest and a slave to what fans want, which is completely and utterly stupid. A.O. Scott from New York Times, man. The Rise of Skywalker isn't a great Star Wars movie, but that may be because there is no such thing. That seems to be the way we like it. The Rise of Skywalker isn't a great Star Wars movie, but that may be because there is no such thing. So, A New Hope isn't a great Star Wars movie. Empire Strikes Back is not a great Star Wars movie. Like, it's bro, some of these guys are bricks, man. So, Jeremy Oleksinsky, let's hand it to Lucas and Abrams. They did it, knowing full well there is no try. Wow. I mean, but my thing here is this. Despite what these critics have said, I just think that the real triumph here is this. If we can actually go back to this bloody thing. The real triumph here is the Rotten Tomato score. That is the real triumph. If we go back, because this was on. That's not great. I don't care how you want to spin it, how you want to twist it. That is not great. 60%. 60% angry. I want that thing to go down because I want this film to film so badly. And maybe this is what Star Wars needs. Like, what Star Wars needs is to fail so profusely, to fail so badly that you come up with something completely new. And I just think it's apt that as this is failing, Mandalorian is doing so great. Mandalorian is doing so great. So, but maybe they'll get their claws in that as well. Let's read some other ones. The Rise of Skywalker is a fitting epitaph for the thrills and limits of repetition. May it be the last episode of a saga that should have ended long ago. Bruh. And I also said there are only 3 Star Wars films. There are only 3 Star Wars films. Obviously, you appreciate what Mandalorian is. You appreciate maybe what Rogue One is. But as far as the films, there are only 3. New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Star Wars 9 may be imperfect, but it offers nostalgia. Hounds the space odyssey of their dreams. Now this is what. Thank you. I'm so glad I brought it here. This is what I find weird about Rotten Tomatoes, which is why this system is just a bit weird, and you should ignore the whole fresh or rotten. I have seen other 3 out of 5 scores. I've seen other 3 out of 5 scores. I don't know whether I can bring them off here, but I've seen other 3 out of 5 scores that become a rotten. So how come this 3 out of 5 score is a fresh? So that's just something where it's kind of arbitrary what is fresh, what is rotten, what is fresh or rotten. And sometimes the weird thing is that when you read some of these reviews, they sound like a negative review. They sound like a negative review, but somehow it's spin into a. I just find it weird. For me, I just find it personally weird. So yeah, man. But we will keep on monitoring this because, as I said again, I want this to fail because it's karma. Kathleen Kennedy deserves to fail. J.J. Abrams deserves to fail for pretty much screwing over John Boyega, a damn good actor, in order to give some posh white English girl, the reins of being the hero in Star Wars. How you go from Mark Hamill to this trash is beyond me. And with Force Awakens, have one of the dumbest finales I've ever seen in my life, with the lightsaber battles being awful. And just how he has totally underused an excellent actor in Adam Driver, turned him into a whiny loser. I've read all the leaks. I've read all the spoilers, and this thing, it sounds horrendous. It sounds absolutely flipping horrendous. So yeah, man, but the second thing is box office. This thing must come under a bill. I'm hoping and I'm praying it comes under a bill, but I am hopeful. I've been given hope by looking online at people saying boycott, nah, I'm out. Boycott, nah, I'm out. And I think with these reviews coming out, a lot of people are now saying to themselves, you know what? Yeah, like we're out. I can't, because see, for some people are still curious to view this train wreck. Some people, but there are others that are. Do you really want to see probably the worst Star Wars film ever made? That's the thing. Do you really want to pay for, sit down and watch the worst Star Wars film ever made? And I think and the key thing here is Jeremy Jans. Jeremy Jans Hodge is one of the most popular reviewers on YouTube. And he came out and said that this Star Wars film is the worst. Is the worst Star Wars film he's ever seen. Of all men, this is the worst Star Wars film he's ever seen. John Campea, the Philippine John Campea, who people assume is a Disney show, the John Campea, he came out and he said that he was disappointed. So if those specific voices are saying, nah, man, this ain't it, do you really want to spend your money on this trash? That's my thing, man, But yeah, man, hopefully this makes it honorable, and hopefully this is a flipping train wreck. Remember to subscribe, remember to like the vid. Peace out, and I'm out.